We start with the word of Richard Telling. As a leader, your principal job is to create an operating environment where others can do great things. Thank you for joining us. This is Nigeria Now. And I have Lois with me in the studio, as usual. Lois, good morning.
Good morning.
Looking great.
You too.
Yeah, fresh week.
Fresh day.
Yeah.
And we are grateful to God for bringing us back again. And to face our work and face our viewers as usual.
Yeah, I miss you. I miss you.
I missed you too, you know.
Yeah.
Stella was here with me.
You guys,
but I'm
you
grateful
guys
you're
did-
back.
Yes,
You're back.
yes, we thank God for everything. And this is a fresh week. And like we always say, you know, always be positive. Positive. Once you are out there, just know that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. That should be your driving force, because nothing is impossible with Christ. So just be positive in whatever you are doing, and in whatever you find your hands doing, just be faithful, and God will see you through. As we are starting this week, I believe it's going to be great. We are live on Facebook and then YouTube, so do well to join us as we discuss together. Tell us your view on what we are discussing. Fresh week, fresh activities, even though during the weekend we have so many politicians crisscrossing, you know, the country, solidarity for some candidates, you know, here and there. You remember on Saturday, it was a total lockdown in Jos Plateau State, Nigeria, you know, for one of the candidates, you know, the candidate of Labour Party. And I was like, wow, so people can come out like that. And then in solidarity for somebody, it was something else.
Yeah, I feel this is not all about being in solidarity to a candidate, but more of that clamor for change, for what is expected, what is needed for this kind of situation that we have in the country. I think that's why you see most of the youth came out in solidarity, like you said, because of the clamor for that change that they want or they are seeking for. So they just want to show that Nigerian youth are up and about, fighting for that change that they want. They don't want to do it in an aggressive way, but peacefully, like let's do it the right way.
In an orderly manner.
In an orderly manner. I think that is just all about that.
And thank God for that rally. I think there's no any report of a breach of any security or law and order, you know. And then that is what we are expecting. Whatever you are having, whatever you are pushing, whatever agenda, whatever movement, you should do it well, in the sense that even the world will see sense in what you are doing.
Of course.
You know, taking it the other way around may not really speak well. But what really give me worry concerning the movement, as you said, is more like a movement, not just a solidarity to someone. You know, and what people were saying, that some people can say that it's because students are at home, they don't have anything to do.
And you know, funny enough, some people tagged it as jobless youths. That they were the ones that came out to do the rally and all of that. But I don't really see it that way. Even if the students are in school, I think people that are clamoring for change will come out and do what they want, because once you have something that you are targeting, you will clear your activities for that particular thing. If it's important for you, you will make time for it. So I don't really see it that way. They might say what they want to say, but I don't see it that way personally. I don't hold that view that because they are jobless or because the students are at home, that's why. Moreover, it was a weekend. So what do you expect?
So is it the students' fault to be at home? That's the question that I ask personally.
Yes.
And up to now, I'm still struggling with with the answer.
Yes.
You understand?
Because even if they are jobless and because they are at home, it's not their fault that they are at home. It's because somebody is not doing what he's supposed to do. That's why the students are at home and they see the need to go out and do something.
Because no one dragged them there.
Yes.
No one dragged them. You know, this issue of masquerade, clashing with the church to an extent that masquerade will barge into church, start flogging people. You know, it's in this era, 21st century. I can't just figure it. I can't just marry the two.
Really, when I saw that particular report, it was kind of alarming to me. Like, how on earth should that be happening? Like you said, in this era that we are in, everybody is allowed the freedom. Of association, of being whatever, of religion. So why do you have to infringe in other people's, desecrate a place? Because I know that as people, even before Christianity came, we had other religions. We had the traditional religion, which was, I think, mainly in the country that people were doing the issue of masquerades. Most of the traditionalists, you see different kind of masquerades and all of that. And they had rules that you dare not do some certain things when they are having their festivals and all of that. And I'm sure those people in those times, they adhered to that. And even now, I don't think Christians will go to the shrine and say they want to go and beat up the chief priest, or they want to beat up the masquerade for no reason.
Or burn the shrine.
Or burn the shrine for any reason. Everybody should respect each other's religion or whatever it is that you hold sacred and so dear to yourself. So I don't see the need that they will even do that in the first place. You didn't just desecrate the worship center. You went ahead to beat the man of God and even beat the worshippers. Like, how on earth should that be happening in this century? Like, it's very uncalled for.
Yeah. You see, it is high time the issue of constitution should start playing, and it should play well, because like you rightly said earlier, the constitution has given us the right to associate, right to freedom to worship, and then I don't see why some people, because you have your own belief, and then you just feel that someone's own is inferior. Or you just feel, yes, because of this, someone had to go to follow what you want. Because if you look at it, that's the reason why this issue of Deborah.
Yes.
Today we are still asking, where is the case? Where is the justice? Concerning Deborah, because you can't just take life just like that because you feel like someone blasphemed. Blaspheme who? You understand? Who has the right to say this is blasphemy or not? All these things, you have to put them in place, and then to know, even if someone blasphemes, are you supposed to take someone's life like that simply because he utters a word? In a country that is being governed by a constitution that we all swore, to adhere to. You see, so if you see things like this are happening and people get away with certain things that ordinarily the law should have taken its own course, people will take everything for granted. You can't just, number one, you entering that territory already, you are infringing their right. Talk more of beating the man of God and then flogging worshippers simply because you are having a particular rituals. In this era, in this country, that we are being governed by constitution, that constitution has given everyone the right, to worship. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. And then we are calling that the right authority should do the needful, because just imagine that now Christians will all rally and say, okay, this is what these people have done to us, so let's retaliate. You can imagine what will happen. And then at the end of the day, you will just find out that it's the same tribe, the same community, rising against each other simply because you have a different belief. I don't think it will say well to us, about us, in this century.
Seriously, I condemn this act totally. It's unacceptable, and it should not be permitted anywhere as far as this country is concerned. Because just like you rightly stated, we have a constitution that supersedes and overrides every other thing that people, individuals, or a set of people will say they want to do. Because like the constitution has stated, everybody has right to association and religion. So there is no need for you to infringe in somebody else's worship, during worship and all of that. I don't see the need for all of that. If you are having differences in your community, you people should solve it, or talk about it amicably to solve and understand yourselves, not that you will do all this kind of thing. It's really not acceptable. And then the fact that the security forces around there were not even around to even tackle some of this particular issue is something that is even should draw attention, because we need, these people are being kept there for such situations. So when they need them and they are not available, then people should start asking questions. Because if you are set there to do one particular thing or the other, and where did you go to? Why were you not available to tackle those situations? So I think security agencies that are being kept in particular places for particular operations, they should be in their posts, especially when they are needed. Because some of these things, you don't know at the end of the day what might end up as a result of this, I will call it uprising as far as I'm concerned. So you don't know at the end of the day what it might cost when there are no operatives to check it. Like you said, it might end up at the end of the day, communities, the same tribe, the same relative and all of that coming against each other because somebody is doing traditional, is a traditionalist, the other one is in Christianity and all of that. So things should be done properly as far as we are concerned. We are people that have senses. We should reason well before we take some actions.
And I want to plead with the leadership of CAN, which is the largest body that accommodates, the believers, in this country. I think it is high time for them to really look into this. Hot. Just like that, I just came out to go and worship, and then somebody will just come and start flogging me. And then you ask, why? So someone can just retaliate, not because he's defending Christianity, but he's defending himself. So I think the leadership of the CAN should do something, so that we'll find a lasting solution to all this thing that is happening that is not giving us a good name, even out there.
For the fact that there was no even reason behind the beating, then why? Even if there's a reason, like I said, they should do it. They should be able to settle it amongst themselves. And there was not even a reason, and it happened in Langtang, Plateau State, Plateau State. So it should. I don't think some of these things we shouldn't even be hearing of them. We shouldn't be hearing of them.
Yeah. Quickly, permit me to just read something. The National Association of Nigerian Students has vowed to further action on the lingering strike action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The group said it would take its protest to the international airport across the country and ground their activities. Speaking in Akure, the Ondo State capital, the chairman, National Task Force on End ASU Strike Now, Ojo Olumide, said students were already tired of pleading with both parties over the need to end strike. According to him, the four-day shutdown of busy highway and expressways had been a success, hence the move to disrupt international travels as from September 19, which is today, in order for the bourgeois and government to feel the pain that had subjected students to in the past 7 months. He said, we shall begin another round of protests next week by storming the airspace on Monday, when he was saying that that is this week, September 2022. Hashtag occupied airports. We want to let the world know about the pain and anguish students who are going through. Nigerian students whose parents create the Commonwealth cannot continue to be suffering at home alongside our lecturers, while the few who gain from our sweat and blood have their kids abroad, jollying and flexing. We call on students to rise and join on to take our destiny by our hands. Our demands remain consistently clear and simple. We call on ASUU leadership for a meeting as soon as possible to discuss solidarity, action, and plan for the next phase of the struggles. Nigerian students are not subjected to security agencies, and we haven't seen any steps from them to avert ASUU strike. Being on the road for the past 4 days and had gathered a lot of solidarity grounding the airport, is for us to get solidarity, and we keep on grounding the local and international airport, and they know the effect of us grounding the airport. The only thing we request for them is to open campus.
You know,
The students are speaking.
yes, because they are tired, and they are the ones being at the receiving end of this whole tussle between the federal government and ASUU. It has been 4 months, 7 months
7
rather.
months, yeah.
And if care is not taken, we will start counting 8 months. And you know what that means to an academic calendar. You know, as in, the students are tired and they have to do something. If the federal government is not planning on doing something, if ASUU is not planning on compromising, then they have to do something, because they can't keep taking all the heat at the end of the day. Their future is at stake. They just call them jobless youth that had to come out for protest because they don't have anything to do. Had it been they were in school, they said they wouldn't have been out there. But which I say no to. I don't hold that particular opinion. But then it's high time that things need to be done. Like, we don't want laws taken into the hands of people. Like, people should take the laws into their hands to do aggressive things just because they want to be heard. But we want things to be done peacefully. And then the federal government and ASUU are supposed to have a hearing. The speaker has called on NANS to also come and for them to have a meeting. But I don't know for how long will all these meetings continue to hold, and at the end of the day we don't see any outcome from it, like positive coming out. They've had series of meetings. Also, I've had series of meetings with the federal government. The federal government had with pro-chancellors. They've had committees from one committee to another. But we've seen that there's nothing that has come out of all of these things. So I just keep wondering, when will this thing come to an end? And then, you know, even with the strike, shutting down of the airport and all of that, the airport management are saying they will not allow it to happen, because if they do so, it's going to give a bad name to the country. But as far as I'm concerned, this has caused a bad name to the country already. So what else?
7 months.
7 months. And this is not even the first time it keeps happening. But now, like this, is even more. It's even more grievous as far as I'm concerned, because of the political era that we are in, and nobody is saying anything. Even like, we know these are some things that they are supposed to even take advantage of, to use it to their own advantage. But no, nobody is saying anything about it. People are just flying up and down. Now the president is not in the country. He has gone to New York. The vice president has gone for the burial of the Queen. And then we're just there, you know. It's just, I don't know.
Well, I just feel it's better to be late than never, you know, because you remember in this particular platform, we've been talking. We said, as far as we are concerned, ASUU are just doing the struggle alone, because you can't even see like anybody supporting what they are even doing. They are just alone, like you said earlier, having series of meetings that today somebody, a minister of labor, will say, no, that's not it. Tomorrow the minister of education will counter what the minister of labor is saying. The
president of labor will counter what the minister is saying. Like, they're just up.
What the ministers are saying, the commander-in-chief will tell you that he don't know that the student at home Rather, he will say he's just knowing and he's pleading instead of taking an action as number one. You are to give order. What is it? Even the two ministers are under you. You know, everything, you are in charge. You are to give order to certain things, and then you are just pleading for the lecturers to please go back. At the end, you are talking no work. And this is what the students are saying now. And I'm happy because they are looking into the plight of even the lecturers. That means tomorrow, if this thing is being settled, even the lecturers cannot misbehave to the student because they are part of the struggle. Because if you say you are fighting for this to happen, that means even the union in the various universities will hold even the universities as accountable for what they say they will do to revamp the university sector. Because I feel this thing should have come earlier than now. Just imagine all bodies coming together and say, even parent and then the student again coming together and say, okay, enough is enough. What is it, federal government? Meet up this demand. You know, it's something that you can do it. We have seen several supplementary budgets coming to the House of Assembly, and then they are them approving it within a twinkle of an eye. And then you ask, education that you, almost all of them enjoy free education. Then, almost all of them. And look at now, education is crumbling. And the students are saying, as far as they are concerned, this Buhari regime didn't even give any priority to the educational sector. In fact, they feel it's a deliberate act for even this government to crumble the educational sector. And then when students are beginning to say this, then you begin to see the insurgency that is eating deep, even in the educational sector. You know, the adoption of secondary school student, the adoption of university and polytechnic student. You know, the threat on school that you remember last time they had to close school before the session end in the issue of threat to the insecurity. How can a country like this, a giant of Africa, continue, you know, in this manner, in this way? It's not giving us a good name. Okay, imagine with all of these things that is happening, you know, you are addressing.
You know, this is your country. What do you expect to tell people, world leaders? Like, what are you expecting to tell them there? Like, what encouragement are you going to give them when it comes to insecurity, when it comes to education, when it comes to economy? What do you plan to tell those people? Like, I just wonder. But we are definitely going to see his address to the United Nations General Assembly, because really it's just unfortunate. And look at, it's a new session. Schools have resumed. And is it that the tertiary institution is just going to die down, and then once you finish secondary school, you start looking for what to do, you go back to the farms as they have always been saying, or what is it exactly? Because when you look at the secondary school, it's not like there are things put in place that are even profitable, that after you finish secondary school, you can even set up your own venture or start doing some things like the practicals. Some schools you go, they don't even have laboratories that are up to standard, that can even equip these students for maybe a better life afterwards. And then looking at the tertiary institution, that okay, we say okay, sometimes, you know, when they teach you in secondary school, your lecturers in the university will finish it, and at the end of the day they are there and there's nothing being done to you to finish up what your secondary school teacher did not even do. So what, at the end of the day, what are we expected to achieve when all these things are going down this way? What is, where are we headed right now? That's just my own question. And then I know a lot of Nigerians will be asking same question. But then we'll keep having hope in this country that things will be different very, very soon, because the youths of Nigeria, they are not joking.
They're not joking. Just like the way the leader now said, you know, that students should just take their destiny to the by themselves, you know. Their destiny is there, so it is their own deliberate act for them to pick it. And then I will say, yes, it is important for us to gather all that we can, you know, put in place to really fight our cause. But in doing that, we should be law-abiding. We should be law-abiding. It is very, very key. I'm looking forward to see while other bodies will come and then will support ASU. and then say, okay, federal government, you should end this thing now, so that the student will go back to classes. And then, look at now JAM, already 2 set of exams, have been written. These people are waiting. So if you don't give them this, admission, who pays, who refund their money?
Yes.
Because they paid money to JAM.
And JAM is once in a year. Afterwards, that's it. So who pays back the money? Like, there are just a lot of things. And the students still maintain that an attack on its protest will be a contravention and an assault on the African Charter on Human Rights and People's Rights Ratification and Enforcement Act 1981, a treaty-turned-act which does not accommodate derogation in any form, and Section 40 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, which provided for right to freedom of association and assembly. So just like you said, we need things to be done rightly, law-abiding and all, just to push out your needs and all of that to the public and to the federal government.
Yeah, and then we are hopeful because the Speaker of the House of Reps is calling their attention. I just feel they should listen to him, but I feel what they are doing, me personally, I feel it's the right thing, and we are hoping, let's see how the outcome of their meeting will be, even the ASU and then the National Assembly. We are hoping that they will resolve this thing soon. It is our hope. And like you rightly say, we will keep believing in Nigeria, we'll keep doing the right thing, and then trusting God that things will turn around soon.
Definitely.
Thank you, Lois, for doing this with me.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you, viewer, for staying tuned with us. Just continue to keep your dial tuned on Equa TV International as we continue with other programs. Thank you so much, and God bless you.